Hello, once again. I'm kicked with a kind of clarity that emerged today. I was going to my physician for a review checkup. But while driving down, I was asking this question as to what is the source of disappointments in life? Disappointments with others and disappointments with yourself. I had a very reasonably open, loud conversation with myself. So obviously that helped me to ask very practical kind of questions. Asking, things like, hey Rajaah, with so-and-so kind of person, why does it look like there are times that you come through as a disappointed person? What are those kind of situations where you think that, the things are not in control, as a result of that slightly stressed, or there is some kind of a disconnect from the situation? And as I dived deeper into this, something awesome kind of started emerging. And this learning that emerged, I want to summarize that first in 2 sentences. And then I want to take it into logical, detailed analysis and explanation. Your disappointments with others are directly proportional to the shoulds, S-H-O-U-L-D, the shoulds that you hold for them. And your inadequacy with yourself is directly proportionate to the shoulds that you hold about yourself. Your disappointments with others leads to reactions to anger, impatience, loudness, brashness, accusation, a whole lot of things. Of course, proportionate to the shoulds that you have in your mind about them. And these shoulds could be in terms of that person should be doing it this way. It could be eligibility of the person, the shoulds about the capability of the person, the shoulds about the responses of the person, the shoulds about the compliance of the person. But a whole lot of shoulds are loaded onto that other person. And when that should is not getting fulfilled, obviously disappointment and therefore anger. Most of the times you'll find that these shoulds can actually be packaged as your desire. This is what you would wish to have from them. In very similar ways, your own sense of inadequacy, you feel stressed. You're not able to handle a situation. You're suddenly finding that you don't like yourself in that situation. You're having self-doubts. Judgment also saying that I really messed it up, I really screwed it up kind of thing. And then that leads to a sense of low self-esteem. You get into a retraction and then you're not yourself, you're not bubbly, you're not energetic, you're not enthusiastic, or you're on a back foot. How does this sense of inadequacy come in? And the interesting thing is, it's completely based on the kind of shoulds that you have prescribed for yourself. And this could be related to your own kind of eligibility, adequacy of competency, capability, your delivery of performance, your fulfilling of expectations from the others, expectations vis-a-vis the other role holders in your family system, in your work system, within your team, within society. And the interesting thing is, we have tons of these shoulds about the overall social system on which we don't even have genuinely a 1%, 2% control or direct impact or influence. For example, you have a government, you are a voter. Let us say for your constituency of choosing your member of the Legislative Assembly, MLA, you are probably one of the, let us say, 2.5 lakh voters. So you are 1 out of 2.5 lakh. You reduce that to whatever percentage, so you are 0.00 some kind of percentage. But you have the shoulds. So-and-so should get elected. So-and-so party should be eliminated. So-and-so should be taught a lesson. You have a whole lot of these shoulds. And all these shoulds are getting parked somewhere in your mind, and the mind is an enormous godown. It can take in so much of stuff and keep them in cold storage. None of them is really cold storage. They're all work in process storage. In other words, what you think is a cold storage and say, forget it, I'm not going to think about it. It doesn't happen that way. It goes into that work in progress machinery, and at some inappropriate point of time, that work in progress shoots out. So suddenly you have reactivity. You say bullshit. You use a foul language, or you hit the desk. Why? Because that slow burning work in progress suddenly finds a trigger or a provocation to jump out and lash out. So shoulds that you hold on to the social system. Organization should be like this. Management should be like this. Leadership should be like this. We keep accumulating shoulds. So the question is there a way of dealing with that? And I discovered one beautiful clarity about this. Suppose you reverse it and say, hey, in terms of dealing with this disappointment, can I turn the mirror and ask myself, what is that I can be doing, I shall be doing, and I should be doing, which can make a difference to me? I'm repeating this again So in this world of disappointments with the outside reality, the others, other relationships, if one wants to reduce the level of disappointments, a beginning can be made by turning the mirror and asking yourself this question related to this entity, related to this person, related to this situation, related to this requirement. Can I ask myself, what is it that I can do with myself to fine tune, redefine the various shoulds that I'm holding, by which I can probably become a better influencer and impactor of situations. Let's take just one simple example. So I have, let's say, a team member and I'm the boss and I have huge disappointments and, therefore, and at one level I'm conscious and I'm recognizing that I'm not being kind, I'm not being sensitive, I'm not being caring enough. But I know that, look, this is what is expected out of him. He should do that or she should do that. Now comes something interesting. When I turn the mirror back, the mirror is asking me this question: hey Raja, what is it that you can or you should be doing differently to make it better? So a couple of things come up, and it's interesting, it came in terms of 3 R's, the letter R. One is, can you modify your response by modifying your reflection, which will help you to become more resonating with the situation, make you more respectful towards others. Let me hold back my response. And there's a beautiful kind of suggestion related to how you can be better, in a situation when you take a pause between the trigger and your response and be a little more thoughtful about it. And the second one is resonate with the situation. Again, just be yourself as an observer of the situation and look at all the dimension. And the first dimension is a power dimension. Are you in a more powerful position than the other person? Then first of all, become sensitive. Because when it's an unequal power situation, there is so much more that you can bring in rather than the other person to bring in. So that's the resonating with the situation. And then having resonated with the situation, bring in more respect. And how do you bring in more respect? So you convert questions into probably suggestions. You convert judgments into possibly inquiries. You convert evaluations into an offering. So how do we do that really? So instead of saying, have you done this? This can be the primary sources when you come from that power position. So your voice is turned. How can I convert that? Let's say his name is Raja. I'm saying, hey Raja, do you think that we can sit down, we do a review sometime when it's convenient to you? So there's first of all, an equalizing kind of a tone. And you are saying, hey, you know what? You have the freedom to decide when we need to do the review. So you're easing up the situation and you're being very respectful about that. Unless, of course, you are saying, there's no time for that. And there's so much of a time pressure, which means you're already messing up, your own personal discipline and management system. Then comes the second one, which is saying, yeah, tell me, what have you done about this? Now, this tell me can become, a responsibility unto yourself, saying that, hey, I was wondering if I could know what are the specific steps that we had planned, specific steps that we have taken compared to the previous review meeting that we had. I think going one by one on that will be very helpful. See how you're changing the whole tonality. And then come the next one, which is about the end result. There is this possibility of saying, all right, these were the milestones. This is what I was supposed to do. And this is what you're supposed to do. And I find that in terms of the thing that you're supposed to do, there is a shortfall in this. This is done 70%. This is done 50%. This is done 110. I appreciate that. There seems to be no reporting on this. And I'm wondering what is that I could have done to make you do this better? Is there something that you wanted but which you have not communicated that I have also therefore missed out? So there is a more of we than you. So in all this, what one is really doing is, rather than having the shoulds being held strong around to the other person, you are turning the mirror and actually refocusing the shoulds into your possibilities, your mays. You may do it this way. You may respond this way. And I think a significant change or a shift happens in creating of the atmosphere. So there's the first level of thinking, and there is the second and third dimension to this, which I would love to share with you, enjoying this all together. And my alarm tells me that it's time to do something else. Good luck. Look at your own shoulds.